His invitation, he was not near, so he could not attend, sir.
And who is Alice?
Sorry, Alice is a board member. Sorry for that. She's a board member, but with the CPA qualification.
Are board members allowed to sign financial statements?
I thought the chair and the secretary do.
The chair signs.
Yeah.
But why did the chair put a number that does not belong to her? Okay, for Githinji, his status is not in good standing. But for the other gentleman, who was called Karani James, is in good standing. So, Governor, you know, when we have issues of presentation and accuracy and errors, we go to the accountants, because these are the people who are supposed to ensure the financial statements are accurate and do not have errors of omission. So, like for Nyeri Referral Hospital, this accountant, Mr. Karanja, is an highly qualified accountant, but the statement has basic errors. Which, from your response, you have made an attempt to explain, but the accountant has to explain to us where those errors came from. And that also affects Odaya Hospital, where we had errors as well in the financial statements. We had errors in current assets, inaccuracies in the non-current assets as well. So I don't know whether one of the board members, the board member who signed this, is he here?
I don't think they are here, board members.
So, honorable members, it's your turn. Senator Mbugwa.
Well, Governor, it becomes difficult to interrogate the reports when the people who are responsible are not here. Maybe you will note that. But the gentleman from National Treasury, I want you to make this comment, because the findings of the auditors are that the budget and actual amounts are presented on cash basis, while the chairman and the superintendent statements are presented on accrual basis. That one is bringing some confusion. Maybe you need to tell us and also advise the county what should be done so that we can have a standard way of reporting. This is especially for Nyeri referral.
Dr. Ndungu, proceed.
Thank you, Chair. Normally, as the standards dictates, is that the budgets are supposed to be on cash basis, and then the others now for accrual, the expenditure and these other statements. Such that now budget is supposed to be done annually. Yeah.
So I think, Governor, you know, I don't know how we will transact this without the presence of the accountant.
The accountant is here. We have the accountant for Nyeri CRH.
The one?
Yeah, is here. And looking at that statement, while according to accounting standards, we may have a challenge. We are talking about a budget which was a target which was over-realized. And if that is a crime, so be it. But really, even if we were to work outside this many terms of accountants. We set out they were given a target, which they surpassed. They did a budget, they did surpass. So I think the only issue there should be what they learned in school on how to present it. And I agree with you that there is a challenge in as far as the presentations are concerned. But then, Chair, I would also want this team to benefit from two things. This is the second year we are being audited, just the very second, and we are in a transition period where we are moving from cash basis to accrual. I think we are in that process now. So that could be a challenge, even as we admit that there are errors. Maybe don't use a very big mallet on my team, but I think they note that they are supposed to do it in the right way. But we all agree. I know since last year is when we got the information. I think we have not even presented the very first audited accounts on accrual. I think we'll do it this year, or have we?
Governor, the reason why the accountant, errors sometimes don't just happen, especially if the accountants are qualified. Because if you go to the next query on Nyeri, then you realize that there was an even bigger issue, which is now being blamed as an error. That one on unsupported revenue. So maybe I think the accountant who is here, he can explain to us what happened. And the committee will tell you that we are so experienced to know that, Governor, this is happening, that some hospitals do not have substantive accountants. They rely on executive accountants. The people who work in hospitals are basic accountants who have not qualified. So they are the ones who do this financial statement. And then the big boys from the county only come to sign. And sometimes they don't take time to cross-check the contents of those reports. That's why we end up having these issues. So the accountants, through the governor, I want you to give an explanation now that you didn't come with the person who signed the financial statement. So you should explain to us what exactly happened.
On unsupported revenue, I believe, Chair.
Yes.
Yes.
No, not the unsupported revenue.
Okay, on
this first one, before we go to unsupported revenue.
Okay, thank you, Chair. I would wish first of all to confirm through the governor that I'm based at the Nyeri County Referral Hospital. The accountant there. So on explanation.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. On explanation to this one, the hospital relied on the guidance from the hospital management board. The hospital was given a target by the County Department of Nyeri, if I start there at the bottom, so that we may come to the one that is a bit complex. We were given a target of collecting and receiving in cash. This is regardless whether there are accruals or not. The target was 386.2 million, but we ended up collecting 345. That is the explanation on for 386. It was what was targeted to be collected during the year, regardless whether there were accruals, regardless whether there were in-kind contributions. That was the target that the county was set by the department. But we ended up collecting in cash 345 million. When now we come to the others, the part for accruals, which is now what we used which was what we reported in the financial statement. We had carryovers brought forward, and the actual revenue that was generated, that we had targeted to generate 357. This one now includes the accruals, and now the in-kind contributions, 36.8, totaling for 28. That was the actual resources that were budgeted to be the hospital to have during the year. The same with the part for actual receipts. We brought forward 34.9 million and ended up collecting, including now accruals, 368, and now added the 6.8, that also comes to 440. So the difference of 440 minus 428 is the 11.4 is what we expected to collect, and we budgeted to collect, but ended up collecting 440 in accruals. So the difference in the two is that the 86 is based on actual cash, the cash we expected to receive, regardless whether it was received or not. And the 345 is what we actually collected. Thank you, Chair.
Senator Eddie Okech.
Chair, I know the governor has requested that we don't use a big hammer on his staff. But I wanted to request that we don't use a big hammer on the accountants, but more so on the CEC finance. Because if you look at the PFM Act, Section 104 of the PFM Act, the title of that title is Responsibilities and Powers of the County Treasury. And it says that general responsibility of a county treasury, subject to the Constitution, a county treasury shall monitor, evaluate, oversee the management of public finances and economic affairs of the county government, including, and I want to go to H in particular, ensuring compliance with the accounting standards prescribed and published by the Accounting Standards Board from time to time. So if there were these kind of circulars that have been brought in, including moving to an accrual accounting method, then I would have expected that the best response to this query could have been that the CC Finance tell us that on such a date, I supplied this kind of circulars to these accountants, and I'm guiding them this, so that even if it has not been attained, Governor, we can see that there is deliberate responsibility being taken by the CEC Finance. So I think that before we get to the accountants, the CEC Finance is extremely responsible. And I don't want to belabor and read the entire section, because it goes all the way to 105 powers of the same treasury under the CEC Finance, and then 107 even narrows down to proper focus on fiscal responsibility, which is consistent to what the chair has just talked about, what we call irregularities that then culminate into what we'll call financial offenses that should not actually happen if the CEC Finance is actually monitoring these accountants. So I think the remedy would be, so that we don't belabor on this, would be a strong recommendation to the CEC of Finance to run circulars from time to time, monitor the capacity of even accountants. Even the issue of whether the accountants are in good standing is actually squarely to the CEC of Finance. So, Governor, don't excuse the CEC because they will have an excuse of mischief and then lazy around. But I think that it is important that we note that this is actually articulated in the PFM for the CEC Finance.
Chair, I concur.
You see the same PFM Act, I think in section, is it 197?
Yeah, about offenses.
No, there is one, I think it's 184, you can confirm. County entities, yeah. The respective CECs must continually monitor the financial performance of those entities and regularly report to the cabinet. And so that means it is not just CEC for finance, even CEC for health, where hospitals belong. They need to continuously monitor the performance, financial performance of these entities and report to the cabinet. I don't know whether that was done. CEC for health, through the governor, was that done?
Yes, Chair. Every cabinet meeting, I report on the performances of our institution,
including audit matters.
I must confess, I don't go to audit matters. I report the performance as per the last week or the last time we met.
Audit matters is part of financial performance, so you should also be reporting, because this one affects performance. And you know, that section has penalties if that is not done.
Well taken.
Auditor?
Yes, thank you, Chair. I just want to observe that some of these issues are to failure to comply with Section 31 of the Public Audit Act, which requires that these meetings of the exit and entry, these issues are addressed at that stage. Failure to address them then is when now we are having these kind of inaccuracies also being reported and reconciliation not being done during the time of audit. Thank you, Chair. So it's important that in compliance with Section 31, that the accountants respond to the ML in good time, so these issues are resolved at that stage. Thank you, Chair.
And the clerk, you know, we said that these issues on inaccuracies, they need to be reported to ISPAC. In fact, we said that ISPAC should be sitting in our meetings. PAC committee, we now have ISPAC sitting in there to respond to issues of this nature in real time. So I think moving forward, because the issues of inaccuracies are becoming many, you need to make a request for a representative from ISPAC to sit in our meetings, so that now it will become a professional issue. The audit, the accountants involved, it will now become a professional issue. Yeah? So I think you need to write a letter to ISPAC to send their representation in this meeting, so that they can guide us on such issues where we have basic misrepresentation, errors, and omission. So I think that's the directive I'm giving. Dr. Ndungu?
Thank you, Chair. I wanted to comment something on the over collection of revenue, which has been flagged by the auditor. Say that it is not an offense to over collect, but from the auditor's point is that when you make a budget, you should know exactly what you are supposed to collect. So if you collect a bigger figure more than what you had expected, it means maybe you underestimated your budget. I think that was the auditor's issue, and the response could maybe the county had employed some efficient measures to increase that. So it is not an offense, but the auditor was wanted to know exactly what happened now that there is an over collection of 11 million. I think that was the again. For budgeting, I think the counties are aware that they are supposed, in every financial year, they are supposed to make a new budget, because the budget is on cash basis. You cannot carry over the last year's budget. I think that is what they are supposed to understand. And the Chair, as Treasurer, I think we have trained all the counties on accrual, all of them. Thank you, Chair.
Okay, I think, Governor, I think you've heard the members very clearly. These issues of errors will not be taken very lightly. And the accountants who are involved, I think moving forward, you will be reported to your professional body if it becomes persistent. But for now, let's move to the next query. That is, which is somehow similar to what we are discussing, and that is unsupported revenue.
Thank you, Chair. I'll be able to take you through the unsupported revenue. The statement of financial performance, and as disclosed in note number 8 to the financial statement, reflect Kenya shillings 368,499,786. This is in respect of revenue from rendering of services. That is from the medical services income, which include Kenya shillings 354,754,685 revenue collected. However, review of bank and M-Pesa statement revealed that the hospital collected a total amount of Kenya shillings 289,633,535, which resulted into a variance of Kenya shillings 56,121,150. Although the management claimed that the amount of Kenya shillings 56,121,150 was erroneously deposited in Mount Kenya Sub-County Hospital, there were no documents including bank statement and receipt voucher to support the assertion. In addition, the management did not even provide evidence of follow-up to recover the amount from Mount Kenya Hospital. In the circumstance, the accuracy and the completeness of the revenue amounting to Kenya 56,121,150 could not be confirmed.
Governor, your response?
Chair, without going through this very long response, I would want to state that this is an error that came from SHA. Money was deposited in the wrong hospital, the 51.993 million, and there is correspondence. What we need to admit is that I don't know whether this information, the letters that were written to SHA, to the hospital from the other hospital, were ever presented to the auditors, because they are in the appendix 3, where there is effort from one hospital to get the money from the other hospital. They have even, I think even the statements are in our appendix. But that is actually exactly what happened. SHA sent money to, and this is something that is happening across our facilities. Money is that was meant to go to the CRH ends up in Mount Kenya. But clearly, if you check, Chair, around 3A all the way up to almost 3E, that is correspondence between the two hospitals writing to SHA and claiming the money back. Rightfully, I don't know what to say because I wasn't in the audit, but I will ask my team to confirm if they gave these documents or they later presented them, because the auditors claim they did not see them. Adam, my chief officer.
As confirmed from the hospital management, some of the documents were given, but out of 56 million, 4 million did not happen that time. It was something that had happened later, so that's why some of the documents were not available. You know, the issue of SHA, that reconciliation, by the time the county referral hospital noted that the money went to Mount Kenya, we established that SHA transferred Mount Kenya money to Outspan Hospital, which was a private hospital, and then they also transferred county referral hospital money to Mount Kenya. So by the time when we were doing investigation, we found out that that was the exact money where it is. That's when we had started the conversation on how the money should be refunded.
Auditor,
because this is a problem we have observed, SHA needs to get its act in order. There is a bit of confusion. We have been struggling to engage so that the training is from their end to our end, and we are able to pursue together. But unfortunately, every other week when we have our meetings, we are getting reports on funds being, you know, for a matter as simple as the name of a hospital, money will be taken elsewhere or to some other place. So that is a challenge we have encountered, and the auditors were right in raising this matter. We submit, Chair.
Auditor, your comments on that response?
Okay, our response remains that either SHA or Mount to clear the query. Thank you.
So were you given this document at the point of audit?
No, we were not given any document, just and we continued requesting for the evidence of the refund, which has still not been given.
So which figure is questionable? Because in the audit you are talking of 56 million, but in their response they are saying the money that was sent by mistake by SHA is 51 million. So where is the balance of 4 million, 5 million?
Means 56 million.
Senator Mbugu?
Maybe the auditors, because you did not give us a brief for Mount Kenya, I would want you to tell us how you treated this one in their reports, because you are auditing both hospitals, and if it was debited on the other side, I would have expected you to raise a query on the same. And on the same, maybe Governor, there's some confusion, because when I'm reading these letters, like 3F, I'm also finding another hospital called Outspan, having also received some money. I don't know whether it is the same money, but Outspan is also coming in.
Chair, it is the same money, and this one, if you observe, is that SHA sent the money to the wrong places.
So it is not on the one.
No, some went to Outspan. I think it had to be rerouted back to Mount Kenya. Again, Mount Kenya had to reroute. So far, that correspondence is still going on, and I think up to now, about 9 million is still outstanding, held by Mount Kenya, and they need to refund it to the county referral. That's it's a big mess, but I don't know how to handle.
Governor, is there some bank transaction record? Because I'm struggling to show that SHA sent money to Mount Kenya.
I think we have bank statements right there behind. That is appendix what? Appendix 3C. I think they should have highlighted them, but we have them there. Maybe they can. Huh? Ours is not highlighted. I don't know. So yeah. Or this is health fund payments or something. We have specific figures and entries.
Your figures are not highlighted, it's just print out.
Chair,
Yes.
I think we are realizing the transaction summary, it's not stamped and signed, though of course it's from Cooperative Bank. But then if it's not, we can because no sign, no stamp. And then as for appendix 3D, this one also the not coming from SHA, it's coming from medical services. I thought it's SHA who was supposed to have written or sent it, but then it's coming from the medical services and not SHA. But then this transaction stamp, so we're not sure where it was generated from.
Chair, I want to, if you allow, that we have Appendix 3F, which is correspondence, 3F, 3G, these are just emails from SHA to ourselves as we engage on the same. So we admit that the statements are not, and I was wondering if the accountants would point out the payments, because we are not able to see, but he should be able to tell us on which date, maybe just pick a few to confirm the same, so that we are well aware of
okay, thank you, Governor, Mr. Chairman, through the Governor. The first transaction there happened on 25th of February 2025. The figure from our end, the SHA portal was showing 1,449,120, but this usually happens with the SHA. They deduct a few hundred shillings as some transaction fee. So our figure of 1,449,120 is the same figure of 1,448,545 on page 2 of 2. For example, of the statement, it is page 2 of 2 of the statement, or page 24.
Oh,
yes.
I see. Okay.
The other figure is 13,742,490. Is the figure that hit the account was 13,742,415. That is page 1 of 1. The other figure is 1 million.
One, and then you say the one below there.
Yeah, page 1 of 1 or page 25.
Yeah.
The other figure is 1,553,440 is in the same page. The figure that hit the account was 1,552,865. They are all there. But at the time we were writing the letter to Mount Kenya, the amount that was in dispute was 51.9. It later rose after this date of 27th May. Another some more amount went to Mount Kenya. That is why it has risen to over 56 million.
Now, you see now, SHA has acknowledged that this was an error through the email. And I wonder why SHA communicates without official letters. I see an email that was done on 4th of June 2025, that is saying that this was an error. My concern is that if SHA knew this was an error, and I'm sure there has been other payments which have been made by SHA, why can they do reconciliation from their end, so that they, in the subsequent payments to Mount Kenya, they could recover that money and send it to Nyeri?
Chair, while on the same, what you are raising, Governor, I'm not convinced that this hospital is looking at this issue seriously as it should be. And I want to refer you to your Appendix 4C about a meeting which happened only maybe a week ago, 3rd February 2026, between the hospital and SHA. I've gone through all the state issues which were raised then, and there is no mention of this. And I would have assumed that the first issue which would be raised in that meeting was that money which was to go to the hospital. Just go through all the issues which were raised in that meeting. That matter was not raised.
Thank you, Chair. This meeting was not even called by us. It was called by we have just received a new officer called Saitoti. He called for the meeting. So that was his introductory meeting to the team. And of course, I think they didn't want to bombard him with all. You can see the things they wrote. They are 1,001. And let me also say this. Let truth be told. SHA is one complex of, we have a lot. If we were to just talk about SHA, we would find so many errors. We are never getting capitation where it should come. There is money that is not being sent to the right places. Sometimes all these are issues. But Chair, I think most important is that you have seen effort. This money is within the Nyeri County, first and foremost, and we thank God that it is within. Remember, had even been taken to a private facility called Outspan. We've struggled. It's come now back to Mount Kenya, and Mount Kenya has paid almost 42, 43. The amount remaining is around 9. So even though there is all this accounting jargon and all that, the money is still safe. It is within our facilities, and we are looking at it to ensure, considering that until maybe we now move to the new FIF, which I think we'll be implementing in the new financial year, the same money all lands in our Nyeri Health Fund, despite it being resting or laying in the accounts of Mount Kenya. So, fine, I see what Senator Mbogwa is saying, but there is effort. We are trying our level best to ensure. And the bigger problem is not even that. The bigger problem is that SHA is not even paying us. If you will note, I think that the receivables that have not come, as of now, the last time I checked, we were owed about how much? 335 million. NHIF owes us 239, so close to $500 million is out there. We are struggling with drugs. It's a big, big challenge, and even as we struggle around, there is a bigger, bigger problem. And I implore upon the Senate to step in and also raise this issue. And let us agree, Chair, because I must bring it to your attention. All over the world, I don't think we have any other insurance, medical insurance that operates like this one of ours. Because normally, it should be the contributors are usually more than the consumers. But in SHA, it is the other way around. Someone will walk into a hospital. Last night I was in PGH at around, what time was I calling? 1. Somebody called me and there was a problem, I rushed there. This individual does not have a SHA registration. It could not happen at night, but we struggled to make sure they got attended because it was an accident. And today they are trying to register SHA. Fine, they'll be asked to pay 6,000. But by the time that patient leaves that hospital, he will have run a bill of 210 or 220, those figures. And the rule is, he should, if we are demand for money, he should go to the police. There is such a statement. So they will be released. The only money that went to SHA is 6,000. But the bill that we shall bill SHA is 210, for example, as a figure. So you see, in money that is meant to go to that fund, and then maybe because of economies of scale, be maybe even invested, is not invested. So what is happening is we are almost not telling each other the truth. If Nyeri is owed 345 million in this 1 year, and we are still providing, the Medicare, it means something is not right. So this is something that we must, as a country, address. And my thinking is, it's a good idea, it's a good insurance. The only thing we need is more injection of cash into it. Thank you, Chair.
Chair, I still wanted the auditors to tell us how they picked this issue when they were auditing Mount Kenya. How did it come up? Because I'm struggling to find it somewhere.
Yeah, I'm reading the Mount Kenya report. There is no related query. So, Auditor, maybe you can explain.
Actually, Chair, the same, I wanted to write on it, the same Mount Kenya, because the 51M, how was it utilized? That's, I think, the confusing part. And maybe I can just finish my Chair. Also, Bwana Governor, I think your officers at least should work on the transactions, because the documents are a bit confusing. The transaction summary and everything, they're a bit confusing. That's why we're even asking whether the 51 million was utilized. And I also agree with you in terms of SHA. We need to tell each other the truth. Looking at what NHIF was, we had different countries coming to copy-paste. I know of at least about 6-7 countries coming to benchmark on NHIF. But then, unfortunately, you know, whatever happened. So, I am in the health committee, and we've always been having issues on SHA. And I think it's a high time that you guys, the COG could come out strongly. And let's discuss about it, because if we want to, of course, kuendelea na nchi, we must, tell each other the truth and work on it. But I know I remember how NHIF worked very well and many people adored it. But then now we are really having these hiccups. But then let our the officers at least work on this summary so that at least we can understand them better, since they are confusing. Thank you.
Auditor?
Okay. In the financial statements for Mount Kenya, they clearly indicated they received SHA payments meant for the Nyeri referral. So they clearly accounted for it.
How much?
56,212,645. So for us, there was no need to bring it up again, because they indicated, this is Mount Kenya that indicated they received.
They confirmed they received.
Yeah, so the issue still remains. Why has it not been refunded back to Nyeri referral, and the evidence of the referral, of the refund, sorry?
By accounting for it, what do you mean? Is it that they used, or they just said we have money here which belongs to somebody else?
It's in their cash flow statement as part of their receipts. They've indicated
that money they have used it, so they are not keeping it somewhere so that it can be returned to the rightful owners.
There is no evidence I can say so far.
So the issue is, even if that money there was to be a decision that this money is going back to SHA, that money is not there. It has been used.
I thought, Chair, we have provided statements indicating the money has been moved to, not all of it, but at least a figure of about 47 million has already been moved to CRH from Mount Kenya. Their statements are there. So the money has been moved to the rightful claimant, and it must have been whatever.
Balance 9 million being moved.
I don't know why we have not moved the money. They could tell us.
Through the governor, Chair, Mount Kenya, SHA owes Mount Kenya a lot of money. So once SHA pays Mount Kenya Hospital, they will going to
If the matter is not addressed, you can raise it as a query. In 2025, 2020. the hospital entities. We maybe you can tell us the status of properties owned by these hospitals.
I think we have in CRH, we have already started the process by writing to I think the National Land Commission. I think we have done that, but it is still a process. There is so much land owned by counties that has, like for example, Chair, just to bring to your attention, every ECD is in a primary school, but the primary school title is in the name of the primary school. We are still struggling to get the demarcation done and the land converting. So the hospitals are in the same boat. We have all cattle deeds. We have the stadiums, for example. We have not yet been able to acquire, and there has been, right now I've seen some frenzied action around housing, the affordable housing. The ministry seems to be pulling its socks to ensure that they have those titles. And they are talking about sectional titles and all that. We are now in that process also. So even the land we own, for example, housing estates, like Nyeri has about, Blue Valley has a number, almost everywhere in every town, we are yet to acquire the titles. But I think it is a process. We are awaiting IGRTC to be able to help.
Auditor, proceed to read the query under Mukurweni.
Thank you, Chair. I will proceed and read the issue relating to Mukurweni. On anomalies in property, plant and equipment, the statement of financial position reflects property, plant and equipment of balance of Kenya shillings 160,281,995, which is disclosed in note number 32 of the financial statement. The following anomalies were noted. 1. Valuation of asset. Management did not provide a valuation report from a recognized and qualified valuer to support the stated value of the asset. Number 2, failure to tag asset belonging to the hospital. Included in the property, plant and equipment amount were furniture, fittings and office equipment, ICT equipment, plant and medical equipment amounting to Kenya shillings 3,860,745, 2,757,000 and Kenya shillings 143,752,729 respectively, which were not tagged. It was therefore not possible to identify whether the asset belonged to the hospital. Anomaly number 3, lack of ownership of the document. The property, plant and equipment balance include land and building and motor vehicle valued to an amount of Kenya shillings 915,575 and an amount of Kenya shillings 750,000 respectively, which were inherited from the defunct Nyeri County Council and are not in hospital name. However, there was no evidence of transfer of ownership document to the hospital, and neither were the assets tagged in in the circumstance, the validity, accuracy, and ownership and completeness of the property, plant, and equipment amounting to Kenya shillings 160,281,995 could not be confirmed.
Thank you, Chair. Allow me to ask Dr. Dan Kagwa to give the responses, the written response.
With the governor, the hospital management response.
Put the mic closer or move closer to the mic.
At the chair, through the governor, the management response. The management, in consultation with the County Department of Lands, Physical Planning, Housing and Urban Development, is planning to do valuation of all the hospital assets. The management acknowledges the importance of asset valuation, but due to competing demands, purchasing essential medical supplies, the management was unable to engage a qualified valuer. The stated value of 160,281,995 includes plant and medical equipment, furniture, fittings, and office equipment and ICT equipment. The management used a cost method for items of PPE that were acquired through exchange transactions, and for non-exchange items, we used the deemed cost method. Management response for failure to tag assets belonging to the hospital. The Nyeri County Asset and Liability Management Policy and Procedure Manual that will guide the county's entities asset identification and tagging is in its draft stage. We've put Annex A. All the assets in the hospital have been documented in the hospital asset register. Question 3 on lack of ownership document. The management response. The county government of Nyeri is in the process of transferring assets to its entities after handover by ITGRC, and the management is still awaiting the official handover. Nyeri County received a fleet of motor vehicles and motorbikes previously owned by the defunct Nyeri Municipal Council. The assets were handed over under the ITGRC Coordinated Transfer Framework 2023-2024. The handover included signed valuation reports and asset registers in compliance with Section 47 of the Public Finance Management Act 2012 and the Regulation 36 of the Public Finance Management County Government Regulation 15. Valuation and verification of immovable assets inherited from the defunct local authorities is ongoing. These include public land parcels and municipal buildings. Upon completion of valuation and gazettement of ownership is to be regularized and recorded in the county fixed asset register. Transfer of movable assets guided by the Intergovernmental Relations Act 2012, the Public Finance Management Act, and the Land Registration Act 2012. Some of the challenges we've experienced were delays in valuation, need for reconciliation between ITGRC inventory list and county records, and budgetary constraints. Thank you.
Very well. Auditor, what's your comment on that response?
Okay, on our side, the issue might keep appearing, just to remind the management to pursue the documents, and maybe with your help and treasury, they can be helped. But for us, we need to see the documents to confirm that it's their property.
Yeah, and indeed, Governor, these queries have been reappearing. In fact, they are included in unresolved prior year matters. So there are things that we can agree with you in terms of ownership of land, but there are basic things like tagging, really, These are things that the hospitals should do. They don't need to be delayed any further. Even valuation of the assets. So maybe you can tell us, you have any time frame?
Chair,
clearing this matter?
Thank you very much. We did indeed note your concern and the concerns of the auditors. But being in my shoes and confronted with a debt of 345 million that nobody is paying, 200 and I don't know what by NHIF, and you have a choice between provision of drugs and tagging, I will provide drugs. Given a choice that do I provide drugs for my patients or do I go struggling to get valuation for a vehicle? I mean, at the end of it all, I agree with you, we should do that. But if Shah and the other people who was could give us that money, we would be able to do tagging. The last time we did try, I was given a bill of, I don't know, for county, it was coming to 300 million. Yeah, we put quotes, and somebody said, hey, I said, no, let's not even try that. Karibu sasa tuandike kwa mikono. Because it's really, so my thinking is that should our finances improve, Chair, and of course with your inputs, Toani Sauti Gruma, then Shah starts to pay us. I think we will be able to set aside and we can progressively do that. But on the area of lands where we are just writing, we are moving on well. On the issue of these vehicles and equipment, even now as we are speaking, you remember the MESS program. The MESS program, we have equipment in our hospitals that are taking up space that should be now, they are already obsolete. We need to bring in new equipment under the new program, but the old mess is still stuck there. It doesn't belong to us. Whoever who should take it away is not taking. You know, we have all those kind of things. So I admit we are guilty as charged, but we're going to do the very best we can so that in the next audit we will show progress, that at least we have even started somewhere. Thank you very much, Chair.
Yeah, but Governor, you know, Nyeri County has been praised severally. Whenever people want to talk about the good things about Shah, they make reference to Nyeri. That Nyeri is leading in terms of
registration, Chair.
Registration,
but nothing else.
Blah, blah, blah. This Shah is just hot air.
They don't even pay us. And now they should also be, as they give these facts, they should be saying, Nyeri has registered 500? What is our number? 400 and this. But how many are even paying? The registration is one thing. The payment is also another different story. But we are struggling. Chair, we must differentiate and say, and any good leader should do this. Now that there is no way out of SHA, let us get our people registered. Hapo mbele mtu akiwa mgonjwa, they will be able to, at least, even if the burden will be left with the county, we will save lives. So that is what we took. We took it up, and I know they say we have tried, lakini hawatulipi. That is the biggest challenge.
You see, even these errors, I was imagining, if this 56 million was sent to a hospital elsewhere,
yes.
First of all, how would you know it? And who was going to receive that money? So some of these errors are deliberate. Because why would you send money to a wrong hospital in the amounts of 56 million? Why would you do that? And how much hospitals losing by money being sent to the wrong account? And why the wrong account in the first place? So I think these are issues that auditor, when you are auditing SHA, you need to come out and tell us these things. money that is unaccounted for, money that is being sent to wrong accounts, and all this. But still on the issue of assets, Governor, last time you appeared, you told us that that hospital land, there was a dispute between a church and the hospital. You have not mentioned that in your response.
It wasn't the church and the hospital.
Yeah.
We have no dispute there. It was our new bus park and the church. The Nyeri referral hospital has only got a challenge with KMTC. KMTC is in our compound, but they have land adjacent, and our negotiations are that we should hive off where they are, and then they transfer the land that we have to us. So that is something we are doing. On the IGRTC, the last time we checked, they were looking for money to do valuations and all that. When we had PS Mbaika, she was struggling for I don't know how many millions to complete this exercise. So far, we do not know how far we are. But on that one, we do not have a dispute with the church. There is no dispute in county referral hospital land. The only thing that we are well aware of is that KMTC is in our land, and because they have done development, we felt that the best way to handle that is to just demarcate the land in which they have built and they are using, and then they could compensate us in the adjacent plot. And I think it is in progress, is it? Very good.
Oh, because Governor, you know the written response to that query, because this query appeared in the last 2023, 2024.
Allow me, Chair, I have just been reminded, yes.
Yeah.
I was confusing. We have two disputes with two churches. One is the one, and they are both in the same area.
This church called PCA
yes.
Nyamachaki.
Yes, where we have built our incinerator. That is where we have a challenge with them. But I think the talk has been going on and it's mutual. It might be a bit dispute, but we are agreeing that we are going to compensate the church through allowing them to take some land. That is ongoing, and I forgot, sorry, Chair.
So that's why I keep going back to the timelines, because last time you promised this will be sorted out very soon. Yeah. But looks like
my chief.
Sorry, the Chair, through the Governor, early this month, once the Department of Land wrote to the Land Commission, and Land Commission advised that the boundaries be adapted as it is. So the county referral hospital will not lose any land, but it will going to be adapted as it is, so that Nyamachaki, the portion that they have the title deed, will be ceded to the county referral hospital. That is the latest update.
okay, I think let me direct Governor these issues of ownership, assets, because it is cross-cutting in all the hospitals. Let's have them resolved before you leave office and before you become a senator. 2025, 2026.
Okay, Chair. We are well advised. It says we are going to try and push through government bureaucracy before we can be asking the same questions from that other end. God willing. Thank you.
Okay, honorable members, we are doing very badly on time. Governor, you can see how we are struggling.
Yes.
4 reports, 5 reports, and we are struggling to finish. So you can imagine if there are 12. Now, I think the issues remaining, we will just need quick comments on them. The issue here is failure to retain FIF at the hospital. All the hospitals have this query, Governor, where FIF has not been retained at the hospitals. And we will base our discussion on Odaya Hospital. So, Auditor, you can explain to us quickly what is the problem, and then Governor, you can give a response. Proceed.
Okay. Sorry, Honorable Chair. I'll proceed. Review of the revenue records revealed that the hospital collected a total amount of Kenya shillings 41,380,875 towards the health facility improvement program, which include a total of Kenya shillings 41,380,875 that was transferred to the county revenue fund. This was contrary to Section 5, Subsection 1 of the Facility Improvement Financing Act, which required that money raised or received by or on behalf of a public health facility be retained by the facility and be paid into a separate facility improvement financing account. In the circumstance, management was in breach of the law.
Governor, your response?
Thank you, Chair. Even without going through this money, what is written, because it's a long story, let me put, we admit that that one for all hospitals did not happen. Chair, Nyeri County was the first county to enact the Nyeri County Health Fund with its own regulations before FIF was introduced. And therefore, in the year in mention, all money that were collected in our level 4 and our level 5 hospitals was channeled to the Nyeri Health Fund central account, which is run by a board that has the chairman of the other 4. And we, according to the Act, 80% of the money was remitted back to the mother hospital, and the 20 was used around the feeder health centers. Now, with the introduction of FIF, which demands that 100% goes back, we were still not able to implement at that particular time. The same question arose in PEC, and we promised that we are going to start implementing the same act as it should. But even as we do that, I still feel that, Chair, as much as FIF could be a good intended program or plan, the same Central Treasury is intending to bring a unified revenue collection system. And as they progress, they are also talking of, the digital highway and also many things. I want to raise this matter with the Senate, that we are slowly crawling back on devolution. Because as much as Treasury would want to coordinate and do all those things, we had already in place our act in 2021, the Nyeri Health Fund Act and its own regulations. So we felt that since it was working, we shouldn't change. We were advised that, and there was a heated argument between the lawyers and on what we should do in terms of, I don't know which law is supreme or whatever. But Chair, as long as something is working, I think it is important that we let it work. Many counties came to benchmark on the Nyeri Health Fund, and it has succeeded in working, but we agree, if it is so directed by this committee that we were directed by PEC, that we get on board the FIF, we shall do it and move on.
Auditor, your response?
Okay, for this issue, we wish to allow the committee to give direction.
The committee, we had given direction last time with the governor you harmonize your act with the national act. I don't know how far you got.
Thank you, Excellency. To the Governor Chair, we are in the process of harmonizing. And His Excellency has mentioned that we had a legal argument, which I do not want to reopen. But as His Excellency has stated, Chair, I fear this Senate shall soon be enacting street naming bills, because the process by which FIF Act was enacted is still clear to us. We know that FIF was a model bill under COG, and the intention is good, because as a policy issue, it is important to retain those funds at the hospital level. But I'd call upon the committee to consider that Article 191 provides for Article 191 provides for concurrent jurisdiction of functions. That is to mean that functions that are performed both at national and county level. That is what the law provides for us on issues of conflict of laws. But on exclusive functions, the Constitution does not provide for a mechanism of determining the issue of conflict of laws. So perhaps Nyeri being the first scenario you're encountering, it is important to consider that we have county assemblies that have legislative power, and in the future such questions will arise.
I don't want to open up a legal contestation, because I can see my legal officer is looking at me and disagreeing with you. The thing is that we discussed this matter at length and said that you need to harmonize your act with the national legislation, because the law is very clear. The national legislation is superior to the county legislation. And if there is amendments that you want us to do for you, then the COG should come to us and tell us we want you to amend FIF so that we have the split that is there in the Nyeri. Split for 80, is it 80-20?
80-20, yes.
Yeah, but for now, as long as this is not done, the Auditor General will still raise this as a query. It will be coming. So let's not belabor the point. Governor, either you harmonize or you bring amendments to us to help you.
Okay.
Chair, also just to point out that the ministry is yet to have regulations for the FIF Act. So that is a point to note as we implement the FIF Act. Thank you, Chair.
Yeah, maybe it can come in the regulations. Yeah. So, but for now, all the FIF presupposes that all the money is retained in the facility and not taken to the revenue account. So members, I think that is a straightforward issue, unless you have an issue there. Then we had the issue of unsupported receivable from exchange transaction. These are share issues.
Yeah.
These are share issues.
We have refused to pay, Chair.
Yeah, maybe Governor, you can give us a breakdown.
Yes.
Per hospital, how much
I will give it
share
to you.
owing you?
Yes.
How much has been paid? How much has been rejected? And all that detail.
Chair, though I have not printed this, I have last week's on SHA. I would want to say this. Our in the county referral our pending claims are 231,764,139, being 2024-2025. And the total pending claims for this year, cumulative, is 356,913,932. That is for the CRH alone. For Karatina level 4, the total is 102,044,934. Mukurweini Sub-County Hospital is owed 34,324,760 to date. Othaya Sub-County is owed 19,247,986. Mount Kenya Sub-County Hospital is owed 26,135,213. Narumoro Level 4 Hospital is owed 15,391,443. And the Hororo Hospital, which is our facility, is owed 11,301,571. The total of which is 565,359,839. This is broken into two. NHIF owes us 230,642,885. But SHA or SHIF owes us 327,644,613. At the same time, Chair, we are owed, although this is now, we are owed by MAKL, which is an insurance. They owe us 3.8 million, or 3,818,339. Britam owes us 2,862,652. CBHF owes us 391,350. Now, I don't know, Chair, whether I should just give you the summary of our chief claims. For example, the county referral hospital has done claims of 527,895,684. What has been paid is 269,725,275. Last week alone, they paid us 22,323,172. They have rejected our claims of 30 million. And so they are pending with 195 unpaid. So the total is for every hospital we have that. They also they have paid us capitation, which is 43 million. But amount of our claims up to date and how they are, that is the situation we are in now. So we have a weekly report on this and how we progress.
Yeah, so I think this is a serious problem. Last week we directed that we will have an engagement with SHA leadership and the Ministry of Health. And clerk, I think we need to do that as soon as we finish this crash program we are doing. And that is the early part of April. We need to invite SHA, Ministry of Health, and the COG to appear before us. Because at this rate, our hospital entities are going to die. They will definitely die. We need to know what is happening. The arrears are piling and piling, and they are piling on top of NHIF as well. So something has to be done. So clerk, you set up a meeting. We have a joint meeting with the Ministry of Health, SHA, and COG.
And maybe Chair, you know, NHIF is historical. No attempt is being made to pay that money. No attempt at all, because it is historical. Remember, we have transitioned into chief, and there we are. The monies were owed. Now nobody knows whether they will ever be paid. And my thinking is like, whether NHIF became chief or whatever, that should have been a first charge. Like we always say that debt is the first charge in as far as institutions are concerned. And even as you do that, Chair, I don't know whether it escaped your eye that either a week ago we saw a glaring 11 billion loss in, you saw something like that. It feels so bad when these debts are left, and the truth of the matter is that counties are left to bear that burden, struggle to provide, Medicare for our citizens, yet the money is not coming. And what do? They get treated, walk away, pay 6,000, and tomorrow they are the first people to say hospitals have no drugs, hospitals are not working, simply because of this challenge. I am sure you are well aware, Chair, that we are even operating below World Health Organization standards. The number of nurses, the number of doctors, the number of clinical officers that should be in every level of hospital, we are yet to achieve. How shall we, when on one hand we have a very huge wage bill, on the other hand we do not receive this money? Because when that money comes and comes in time, it will help us, bridge the gaps. So we really implore upon the Senate to place their foot on the ground. But let us look each other in the eye and tell each other the truth. Unless there is an injection of capital into SHA from national government, and if you recall, at the inception, it was bandied around that government was going to put in 44 billion as a start-off. They only gave 4. You can see now the gaps that are there. So I think even as we get to the next budgeting cycle, we needed to look at, SHA in the right, and look at each other and say, if we really want to say we want to help our people, and we are talking about the indigents. Now the story is counties should go and pay for indigents, and some of them, like Muranga, have done. But the question is, how do we do that when we don't even have the money? As we are talking, Chair, we are faced with a first and second salary increase cycle that we have not implemented as counties. And we are headed now to a third one, yet we don't have the money. So as much as we saw 420 being budgeted around, our prayer is that we go to 458 and we will be able to do those things. Thank you, Chair.
Any other comments from the auditors or members on that? Mark?
Chair, maybe on the issue of FIF, maybe the FIF Act, Section 29, provides that the executive member for health shall make regulations. So it's in the Act that regulations can be made by the member for finance, for health, Chair. Thank you.
Yeah, she is, some of these things you are supposed to be doing, but sometimes when you come to Senate is when you the issue of casuals in long period of casual employment, particularly Karatina. Where we have 12 casuals, 21 casuals who have continuously been engaged for more than 12 months without a contract. Governor, can you give an explanation?
Thank you very much, Chair. Let me ask Dr. Kibara to take us through that.
Yes,
but even as we do that, We are currently recruiting. In fact, the Public Service Board names are before our assembly, and they should be approved maybe in the next 2-3 weeks, after which we'll train them and we'll be able to address this matter. But let Dr. Kibara read.
Okay, Chair, through the Governor, I wish to confirm that our engagement for casuals is provided for 3 months running contract as a result of shortage of critical and technical areas of staff in technical areas. This matter has been brought to the attention of the County Public Service Board, and recruitment on critical areas is implemented gradually. Work in progress in 2024, the hospital received 3 postings of staff in revenue department, 2 for the cooks, and 1 ICT intern and a clerical officer. The county advertised for the recruitment in addition staff on 7th October 2025, prior to us resolving the matter through the county public service, though the county public service term expired before the conclusion of the exercise. The process of recruitment is a continuous one, taking into consideration the county wage bill.
Auditor, your comments on that response?
Okay, the issue here is an issue of compliance to a law that is already there, and we would wish that the county continue to comply, as even as they employ more people.
Yes, this is a compliance issue, Employment Act. You have to comply with the Employment Act. If you are going to engage people for more than 6 months, is it 3 or 6 months? Actually 24 hours. Then you have to put them on contract. So, Governor, maybe you can tell us what are you going to do with those employees who have been there for 1 year?
Chair, we are going to, like we have just said, we are awaiting the approval of the County Public Service Board, maybe train them, and then on Annex 6B, that is work that is pending. If you check behind the Annex 6C, those are the names of the board. They have just they are before the assembly. As soon as they are in office, we are going to do our level best. May I mention that I think currently we have done our level best, and so far as we are speaking, we have only about very few. I think these are the only ones remaining outside our HRIS. So we are committed to do that, Chair, and we promise we will do it.
Any comment on that?
Yes, Chair. Governor, yes, I've seen this advert, and I've seen you have encouraged persons with disabilities to apply.
Yes.
And although the auditors didn't raise it as an issue, I don't believe that all the hospitals have complied with the 5% employment for persons with disabilities. So I would encourage you. I know you may not meet the 5%, but in this recruitment, when you appear here, we would want to see an improvement on giving that category of people some chances.
Thank you very much, Senator. Through you, Chair, it has been a policy of Nyeri County that every person with a disability who is qualified and applies, fact is that we pick them. I have a chief officer, I have who else? Revenue officers. We have who other people? Quite a number of them who are, but we haven't met the 5%. But it's unfortunate because sometimes they don't apply, and we are bound by now. For example, when you set up advertise for this, they are requisite qualifications. Sometimes they don't meet them, but we try our level best to assist.
Honorable members, I think we have run out of time. It is 2 o'clock.
Chair, just in a minute. I've seen with concern, I've seen an issue, and I'm concerned about disposal of expired drugs. Chair, and this is in reference to Mkuruini sub-county level hospital. I would request the governor to say why they do not have disposal mechanisms.
Thank you, Chair. Disposal of any government stores is a process. And even without reading what is written here, we have already set up an asset disposal committee that is addressing the matter. We will, I'm sure, once the process is over, maybe, I don't know, they have already held 1 or 2 meetings, is it? And the chair of the disposal committee is here, the chief officer. It is in process. I remember we had some in county referral hospital which we disposed of. Even now as we are speaking, many of our level 4 hospitals all over the country are struggling with disposal of asbestos, you know, and it becomes a big challenge even for these drugs. And one of the things I would want also to say, Chair, is to bring to your attention that some of these drugs were offloaded into the counties. Remember, Nyeri was a UHC pilot county. So many of the drugs that were brought that particular time were nearing expiring. We do not know for what reason. So some of them are the ones that you feel are there, but we are going to follow the process and ensure we have taken care of them.
So, honorable members, you have run out of time. It's past 2 o'clock, and we are supposed to be having Nyeri come. Meru. So we will come in for Meru at 2:30. 2:30, so that you can take your lunch very quickly. I don't think I'm going to give chance for closing remarks.
I thought you were going to offer us lunch.
The clerk, you can take care of Nyeri. They are good people. So I think we adjourn until 2:30 for Meru. Thank you.